us um, for the last technical principals coffee, minus the coffee, but the principal is here. I will just jump in. I've got a few slides, and then we have a vote to present the new PTSO board for next year, and then we'll hand it over to Mr. Shinkarik to talk about the end of the year and what will be happening over the summer. All right, so for the year in review, putting these slides together, I sort of felt like we hadn't, well, over the year, I felt like we hadn't done very much, or we couldn't do a lot. But then putting these slides together, I realized that we actually have been able to get quite a few things done despite not even being able to be in the building. So I have so many people to thank for making all of this possible. But first I want to jump in and say tonight there is the Spirit Night, one of the last, or the last Spirit Night at El Cerro Reyes. That is from 5 to 8 o'clock. And Lindsay, can I? Okay. So you can just call and order from them, or you can go in and sit. So that's where we used to do our Spirit Nights when we were at Mount Morn. And so we're glad to be back there. So this year we have gotten creative with fundraising, and remarkably, we stepped up our Spirit Nights. And I still can't believe this number, but we've raised $3,500 just from you parents going out and buying dinners. So we partnered with local businesses in the area, and they were very happy to have us support them, and they support us. So we've raised, $3,567 plus whatever we get from El Cerro Reyes. So we have had to get a little creative with our fundraising this year. Of course, we did do the Phoenix Fund. We used to have a goal of, I think it was 35,000 in previous years, but just given the situation here, we lowered it to 21, and we've gotten over 20,000, and then we still get matching from many corporations that you have partnered us with. So that was our basic funding that we would use to support just basic needs here at the school. So we were very grateful just to have that bare minimum going into the school year. In addition, we've inherited a pretty amazing revenue stream of the fencing, the advertising along Brawley School Road. And then we also have advertising from local businesses in the gym, and that will increase as we have more events at the school. So we've been able so far to raise over $19,000. So that helps us offset a lot of other fundraising that we might use through showcasing. So we might change that up a little bit. So fundraising wise, we have done pretty well, and we've raised a lot, but we've also had to spend a lot, and I'll tell you exactly where we've used those dollars. We have had some great success with spirit wear. Hopefully your kids are wearing some of their Fire Chicken shirts and the masks. So this year we've raised $2,700 just from spirit wear. We will continue to do it this way next year as well. So we'll have 2 sales during the year. And then we moved the big rock that used to be on Brawley School Road. We moved it closer to the car line and changed the rental times to 48 hours as opposed to 24. So we've raised $720 just from the rock alone. And that doesn't include, we've used 2 weeks for showcasing and other events here and there. So we hope that that's been a fun thing for parents to paint, and we hope that as we get everybody back in the building consistently next year, that will help increase as well. So, like I said, even though we couldn't get in the building to do much, what we were able to do is show our teachers and staff how much we appreciate them. We know that they've been working twice as hard, if not more. So we did what we could, and I hope they appreciated the efforts. We have, let's see, I'll just go through. We've we created a teacher's lounge on the next slide. This, I think, originally was perhaps the most depressing room I've ever been in. Previous years, it was a storage room at some point. So we had a budget of $2,500, and Nicole Rafus designed this teacher's lounge, which is really a morale room that the teachers, because the building is so large, they can meet there. It's a central place where they can eat, they can work on planning, they can collaborate. And it's also a helpful tool for Mr. Shinkarik to help recruit and retain teachers. So one huge thing that has been so appreciated by the teachers and staff is the snacks. So we put out a call to you all, and boy, did you guys respond. So we have a huge closet full of snacks here. So every day, one of the teachers' daughters comes and fills the snacks every day. So thank you all for contributing to that each month. And we will continue doing that, because I think that was a fairly simple way for parents to help in some way. So what we've also done is 4 teacher box luncheons. We featured birthday treats every month. So they got like a fruit and a muffin in a little baggie and put in their mailbox each birthday. One other big campaign we started was the We Are Lucky campaign. And this kind of came out of, wanting to do something for the teachers and show them how much we care, but not being able to be in the building. So we reached out to you all and had you ask your kids some feedback on what they think about their amazing teachers. And so each day in the month of March, we posted a quote from students. And then we posted all of the graphics up on the board so all the teachers could see. On the 17th, we gave each teacher a lucky lottery ticket. So that was fun. Just something small to let them know we're thinking about them. And I think we'll continue that campaign in future years. Over the holidays, we transformed the library into Harry Potter world. And we had a box lunch, and we did a costume contest. There's Mr. Moody as Dumbledore. So we kept the decorations up for the whole month of December. And the teachers didn't want them to come down, but eventually they did. In May, just a couple of weeks ago, we did, for Teacher Appreciation Week, we did something called Tiki Wiki. Laura Phillip came up with this idea because we had so many Hawaiian decorations in the PTSO room, and she wanted to use them. So you can see this board with Mr. Shinkarik and Ms. Eisinger. We had Kona ice on the Monday come out. It was freezing rain with our ices, but so each day we kind of featured something fun for the teachers, just as a theme that, we can't travel anywhere, but we're going to bring some aloha and mahalo to you. So we made different baskets, like there's a Dole Whip. We gave each teacher a pineapple and a banana and coconut milk to make the Dole Whip. So something different. And on the other days, we had luncheons, we had a teacher raffle, and then on Friday we had a little gift bag with some hand sanitizers and school supplies in there. Some other things we've done is We gave the bus drivers lunches at Jersey Mike's. The principal and assistant principals, they had a special day. We gave them gift certificates for on the nines. We did donuts on Valentine's and Halloween treats. We actually have over $500 left over, and on June 1st, we're gonna buy bagels and coffee for the teachers and staff at the staff meeting on the day after school gets out. One other thing we did for parents, just kind of trying to get creative and find a way to reach out, give parents a lifeline. We hosted Michelle Eichert, who had been here in person speaking with us before. So she did an hour virtual that I hope you all attended and got some benefit from. So that was just our way of, because we couldn't do events, trying to bring events to you. Some other support we've given has been to date the collaboration rooms. We've spent over $24,000. This year, we did much of this before the school year, but this year we did some additional painting and got some special flooring in the sixth grade hall. So we helped match the support of that. And those rooms are, now that things are changing, we're able to have, the teachers are using those a lot more. The clubs, we've given $1,500 in stipends to help them. Teachers this year, they don't usually spend their stipend. We give them $150 each year, but this year they were buying things like air purifiers and stools to make their Zoom calls easier. Just different things that, you know, pre-COVID they would not have needed. So we spent over $4,000 for that. And then something absolutely essential this year were the online subscriptions. So we spent over $9,000 there. So much of that comes from the Phoenix Fund that is raised, the $21,000 that I mentioned before at the beginning of the year. So that is what we spend these things on. Additionally, we've absorbed the athletic boosters this year, and so as a group, they've needed to build their programming. So we helped buy new soccer goals and other just basic sports equipment for that. So Mr. Shinkarik will talk about building the sports program now that we're in the new building. Our huge fundraiser in previous years had to look a little different, showcasing the arts. This was all a test for all of us. And I just want to thank you all. You parents are so generous, and we created 12 baskets that I estimate maybe around $3,000. So you parents donated all of those things so that we could create these baskets and raffle them off. We sold 5,693 tickets. The largest basket, we sold over 1,200 tickets just for the girls basket. And I think the beach basket was around 900. So not only did you buy tickets to the raffle, but many of you spent almost $2,000 buying wish list items for the art teachers. Those are easels for art, or copyright memberships for music for the band and orchestra. So all of that helps create a really strong arts program here. So I just want to thank you all, not only for those who contributed, but who bought and just supported our arts program. Our end of the year cheer, I just wanted to note that you all have sent in over $9,000. So this will be distributed equally based on full-time or part-time. So we have a calculation that we use we will literally get cash and present to each of the teachers and staff next week. So I just want to thank you all for supporting them in that way as well. A big part of being on the PTSO is having amazing people to work with. And I just want to say a big thank you to 3 parents who are have 8th graders and are leaving the school. Heidi Tyler helped with the Phoenix Fund. Christine Beanstalk was our secretary, and Laura Phillip was our teacher appreciation chair. And all of them, I came in as a 6th grade parent, as the president, and I didn't know anything. And these 3 ladies really just helped me understand what had been done in the past, made recommendations for, what would work moving forward. So I just really thank them for all their support. And it's just been a real pleasure working with them. So the next slide, we actually have a proposed slate for the board positions next year. So I will stay on as president for the 3rd year. I actually will have a 6th grader coming in, and then my son will be in the 8th grade. So we've changed the structure of the board a little bit, moving into the new location. We have a couple of open positions. The vice president, this would be great for a 6th grade parent who wants to get involved. They would literally shadow me and learn everything about the school, and then they would move into the role of president next year. We also have staff appreciation. If you like party planning, if you're a detailed person, we have tons of volunteers who want to help. We really just need that person to plan the events and tell us what to do. We all work as a team. We're all hands on deck when we need to be. So it's a really great group of women. We have events. Allison Klopp will stay on, and we're adding Meredith Marinelli to share the events. Bryn Wilson will take over the Phoenix Fund. We do need somebody to help just be a project manager for what will be the new Showcasing the Arts moving forward. So we have some open positions, but I'm very excited to have Caroline Rash as the new treasurer. Natalie Scully will be the assistant treasurer, who will move up past Caroline after the following year. PJ Sherry will stay on as secretary. Kim Love, who helped create the virtual website for Showcasing, very grateful for her, will help PJ with the communications. And I think, and last but not least, Debbie Mussolino will stay on to help with all the advertising as that increases over time. We would love an athletic booster liaison. So that's somebody that would work closely with Coach Kazera and also be a liaison to help us make decisions on what athletic boosters needs for spending. So if you are interested in any of those positions, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at tbsptso@gmail.com. So I just need, just as formality, I need a motion to approve this slate. And I think Lindsay was going to set up a poll, but.
We can just go ahead and put that in the chat.
Okay. All right, so while we're waiting on that, I did want to say, next year, as we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but we are looking forward to having new events in the building. For 6th grade parents this year, we used to do a lot of, thank you, Jennifer, to make the motion to approve. We hope to bring back a lot of the fun events that kind of make the IB family what it is. We used to have Halloween party at the pit. We partnered with the SGA for winter formal. We used to have game days and an on-site 8th grade party. So, in the new building, we have an opportunity to kind of hit the reset button and start some new traditions. So I am very excited to have a normal year, and I'm sure you all as well. So it looks like we are, all right, second the motion. All in favor? Yes, I hope. All right, so I think it passes. So I just want to thank you all for the honor of being a part of the school. It has been a challenge, but this staff and the teachers here are so amazing. So it's been a pleasure. So I'll pass it on to Mr. Shinkarik to tell you all more about the school. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ann, and thank you to our entire PTSO. Obviously, you know, we've said this 100 times, but super challenging year, and really, I think our school has done exceptional given the circumstances, and really just in every capacity. And the PTSO is no different. Just found unique, creative ways to stay engaged with our school, continue fundraising, continue with events, and do all of these things safely, effectively, and supporting our school. So I use that quote all the time, but I just love it. And I think this year it fits really well that, you know, volunteering is a way of you know, the greatest form of democracy, where you every day have an opportunity to you know, an opportunity to help your community and decide what type of community you want to live in. And certainly your volunteering has made our school year a successful school year. So I'll start by saying that, and a special shout out to those three ladies that you mentioned that are you know, stepping out, Miss Beanstalk, Miss Tyler, and Miss Phillip, as well as Miss Johnson too, who helped us out in boosters as well too. So we're losing some great people, and we're looking for adding some people to fill those spots. So I was just going to kind of share some updates on my end from the school. I didn't create a presentation, but I did have a few notes that I just wanted to kind of go through kind of what the end of the week, the last couple of weeks here will look like, and then kind of moving into next school year. We are, you know, chugging away here towards the end. I always tell teachers, don't count the days, make the days count. Today we had our second EOG. We did 8th grade science EOG this morning. It went really well. All of our tests this year are all done online, which is a little scary. Because the kids are moving pretty quickly on them. So if you want advice as a parent, tell them to make sure they slow down, they read everything, because those online tests, you know, kids get a little click happy on those. So tell them to slow down. I do think not bubbling helps speed things up a little bit, but it's going well. Miss Gillis has been phenomenal all school year long, as both being kind of our virtual school liaison, as well as helping out with testing here now. So yesterday was a great day on our ELA tests. Today we did science. Tomorrow we'll do math. And then Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're doing some small group testing sessions with some kids that were virtual students. We've tried to get most of our virtual students into the building these days, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but a few were uncomfortable with that. So we're doing a kind of a smaller setting for some over Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that'll kind of finish up our integrate test. I know that we're going to get our math results back pretty quickly, but there is talk that our ELA scores won't come back immediately. It is a renorming year for that assessment. Perfect year to renorm a test. There was sarcasm in that, but so we might be delayed a little bit on our ELA scores. Other things that just update with your kids, if you have a student that has a DEP, a differentiated education plan, is identified AIG, they should have completed their DEP modules on Canvas by now. Also, all students had service learning. That was due on May 7th. So make sure that your child's finished their service learning project. That is a requirement to be in an IB school, is to do service learning. That isn't an optional thing. That's something we have to do. We're also kind of moving towards the end of the year items too. We'll start distributing yearbooks next week. I believe our eighth graders will receive their yearbooks on Monday, and our sixth and seventh graders will receive theirs, I believe, on Wednesday. We do have some yearbooks left over. I've seen one of the yearbooks and they're awesome. So if you want to purchase one, just contact Mrs. Russell and she can get one for you. So that's kind of the kind of our end of the year. We also have a couple of things going on. We do always do learner profile trait awards and our Phoenix Award recipients. We have communicated those to parents of students that are receiving an award. And we've done a kind of a smaller setting for those due to COVID. And then also we have our drive-through event that we're very excited. I met with our eighth grade teachers yesterday. Super excited about that. That's going to happen next week on Thursday. All parents have signed up for times for that event. Want to update you on a few things. COVID, they are, I've done that in every one of our meetings this year. And this thing is changing daily, hourly sometimes. And there's a lot of like conflicting information out there. I'm sure you all understand, but you have a lot of different entities, right? You have the CDC, you have the North Carolina Health and Human Services, you have the Iredell County Health Department, you have the Department of Public Instruction, and you have the state superintendent, the governor, and executive orders, and we have a toolkit that we follow that's built by the Department of Public Ed. So all of these different entities have different recommendations and different guidance. So sometimes it's really hard to sort through and figure out which ones are we adhering to because they are somewhat different. And I've always said, all year long, what happens a lot of times is science and policy don't always work in the same lines. And so sometimes we have to kind of be patient for these things. But within the building here, even with bringing all of our students back, yet we still are seeing a pretty relatively small number of positive cases within the building. We do communicate those out to you as soon as possible when we do have them. We always communicate. We have seating charts in all of our classrooms, and so we're able to identify who's sitting close to students that have tested positive, and that's our means of doing contact tracing. One of the things that we're excited about is our district now has the ability to do rapid testing from the school site. And we've actually seen this in action before. A student tests positive for COVID. We then identify who's been close to that student. We administer a baseline rapid test and send that student home. And then after 5 to 7 days after exposure, we retest the student. And then if they receive 2 negatives, their baseline and their test between 5 and 7 days, they then can come back to school on day 8. Under our previous process, they weren't coming back after a positive until day 11. So it did speed that up a little bit there. And we do that all here at school. So you don't have to take them to a doctor. There's no copay. I don't think there's copay for COVID tests anyways, but we do it all here as a school. So I think that's helping get kids back in here quicker. Now I know there's the new governor's order about not having to wear masks indoor. One of the caveats to that was schools still have to adhere to the mask requirement. And so we're still adhering to that here. You don't have to wear a mask outside, but it's always recommended to be 6 feet apart if you're not wearing a mask. So we try that with our students. We haven't gone out and publicly championed and said, take your masks off as soon as you get outside. But I think the kids have kind of figured that out a little bit. So we're continuing with all of this. And, I think, it's just a couple more weeks here, I guess a week and a half. So we feel really good about what we've accomplished this year and keeping all of our students and staff safe. Like I had mentioned before, our 8th grade promotion ceremony is still on. I know some of the high school end of the year celebrations or promotion or graduation ceremonies have expanded their capacity. By the time we got this guidance, we really haven't had much time to prepare anything like that. And that's always been something that the PTSO has helped us with. And so we didn't, we're keeping our process, our plan that we have in place. And it's different than it was last year, I would say. They've enhanced what we're doing there, made it kind of even more of an intimate type of thing that we can do with the stage and walking across and all of these other pieces there. So we're excited about what we're doing for that next week. So I get questioned all the time, what's next year going to look like? Are we going to have to wear masks? Are we going to have to do all of these things? And I don't have the answer. We even met last week as a district leadership team, and each of the school leadership teams met last week to discuss, and met with with a set of doctors to get guidance and advice. And there were no answers in terms of what next year will look like. It's, still too far away. So we can only, guess what those things would be like. I do know one thing that they've held pretty tight on is that there'll be no virtual option at individual school sites for next year. So we won't be offering virtual Brawley Plan C Zooming into school next year. If you would like a virtual option, I believe the district's still going to offer VISS or virtual ISS. We call that program VIS. That program is going to work separate from our school. So you essentially withdraw from our school and enroll in VIS if your child would like that option. But that's not set in stone, but simply what it seems to be the message that we continually get from our district leadership. And so that's kind of our COVID updates. Moving into next year, the first day of school is August 23rd. And we'll start off with our sixth graders. We are looking to have a transition camp next year. We have 2 tentative dates. We'll get more information to our sixth graders as soon as possible when we shore all that up. But August 11th and August 12th are the 2 tentative dates for that next year. That's a Wednesday and a Thursday. It's actually the week prior to our open house, which open house is on August 19th. We are anticipating 625 students or so at our school next year, which is an increase from this school year, quite a bit actually. We have a big sixth grade class coming in. And so we're going to divide up our open house into 2 sessions. We'll have an A through L alphabet from 4 o'clock to 5:30. You can drop in anytime between 4 and 5:30. And then M through Z, 5:30 to 7 o'clock on August 19th. August 19th is a Thursday. And then school will start that following Monday. And the school calendar is available on the district website. You can see all of that. There was hope that the legislators would move to giving more calendar flexibility for public schools, but that hasn't been able to happen. We had hoped that we would get more flexibility. It certainly makes it easier for us to do high school and middle school courses where semester courses end before the winter break. But without that calendar flexibility this year, we weren't able to do that. So our actual last day of the semester isn't until January 14th, which is about 2 weeks after we come back from break. So that's always difficult for us. You have to go to break and then come back and then start exams shortly after. But nevertheless, that's what we have. There's still talk that they may do that or adjust that. But the district's pretty much said it's going to be too late in the game to do that. I mean, y'all are planning vacations and all kinds of other stuff, and it'd just be impossible to make any changes at that point. And so that's kind of moving into next school year. We hope to bring back more of our traditional approaches that we've done here as a school, as an IB school, enhance some of the collaboration and things that we're able to do, utilize this building the way that we had envisioned it, a few years ago. And so that's, going to be our focus for next year. I knew our boosters group and just athletics program, we do anticipate building that for next school year. You've noticed our baseball, softball field have been under construction now for several months. It's just a big red clay mess out there, but hopefully they'll be planting grass in the next couple of weeks. And we'll start that. We have a long-term vision of maybe adding a soccer multi-purpose field on that lower lot, which would require some grading and some turf maintenance down there to make that possible. And that might be something that we look to engage our PTSO and boosters groups with in the coming years, as well as probably the district. It will probably be a pretty expensive project to make that happen. But if we were able to do that, we would really have a full service campus here for all of our athletics and events. So those are kind of my updates as we finish up the year. And if there's anybody in the audience that had questions, you can certainly put that in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask them. Ms. Gordon asked how many students in 7th and 8th grade. About 200 students in each grade level, about the same as what we've had. Each year we always bring in a few more kids, and then we always lose a couple kids too. So it kind of levels out there a little bit. I think we're a little bit heavier. We might be 5 or so students more than what we currently have in 6th and 7th grade cohorts. Changes and additions to staff. Yeah, because we'll have more students, we are looking at bringing on some additional staff members. So I'm actually starting that process this week and next week. We do have currently have a middle school math teacher position posted on our on the district website. So if you know any really good middle school math teachers, have them send me their resume. I'd be happy to talk to them. Okay. All right, Ann. Well, I think that's it. Thank you, Ms. Christian. She's always so positive. It's like getting a compliment from your mom, though.
Well, thank you all for joining us. This will be recorded and posted on social media. So I know there were a lot of 6th grade parents who might want to know some of this information. So we'll make sure we get it online. So thank you, Mr. Shinkarik, for leading an extremely tough year. So just many, many thanks to leading this staff. I appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
Thank
all right.
you all.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.